hi there, ho there. It's Happy Friday. I can't think of anything. I was going to try to rhyme something, but I'm not a freestyler, so I can't do it. Anyway, happy Friday. It's almost the weekend. Also, if you picked my Drake Bulldogs as the my Drake Bulldogs and the who was it, Texas Southern as the as play-in picks last night. Congratulations, your teams are in the NCAA tournament now. If you're into basketball, I'm wearing the hoop net shirt here in honor of the NCAA tournament. And boy, it's every day there's something funny about the happenings in the old Biden administration, and there's a hearing with Dr. Fauci yesterday. There was another hearing yesterday at the House that probably got less attention, and I don't really have any. It's funny, I don't see any news about it, and I listened to quite a bit of it, and who was it? J.B. Raskin. I'm not sure where he's a congressman from, but he told one of these Trump myths. He trotted out a Trump myth, a complete and utter lie that I've been thinking about a little bit and maybe gonna do some documentation on. But anyway, we're gonna get through the show today. Got some current events, some other things that people like to talk about, and we'll do that right after the intro. Play the intro, please, right now. Yeah. No, now. Yes. Now. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel, which is right here. It's Friday, the 19th of March, 2021. And yesterday, at least the big thing on conservative side of the internet was the little exchange between the doctor who shall not be questioned and another doctor who was asking the questions. Actually, he was asking some very good questions, and I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to talk about it on YouTube. That's how crazy it is. You're not even allowed to talk about things happening in the world. But I'm gonna take a chance. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me. I will speak my mind, and I don't really care. I'm gonna say what I say. Take a chance on me. Take a chance. 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 But before I do that, of course, I've got to say good morning to the folks in the chat. Holy moly, already got almost 30 people here. That's fantastic. Let's say hi. By the way, if you like what we do, sometime during the show, hit the like button, share the stream out. In fact, share the stream out right now before you forget. And, you can support the show in a couple different ways. They're down in the description. You can figure it out. In the chat, oh, hang on. I realized I don't have my, the Emperor's clothes aren't completely on. Hang on a second here. Because I got to make sure I don't have disruptions during the show. I have to turn my phone off. By the way, turn your phones off if you're in the front row, because we don't want them to hear them on the mic. First in the chat today, though, was Becca Fairley. Thank you very much, and you get the bell, of course. And I appreciate you sharing the show. Becca, pretty much every day, Becca, Maddie, Cynical Lindsay, Somnambule Nation, always tweet out the show. I appreciate you guys doing that all the time. It always helps. And hopefully we'll get a new... it's weird. I haven't had a new subscriber in about... I can't remember. It's been like almost 30 days, and I'm trying to think now, what the hell's going on here? Is there nobody new coming in here, or am I losing one for everyone I get? I'm not really sure, but I've been stuck at this 1,079 for such a long time, and I've been stuck at 1,000 for a long time. But you know what? I love the people I have. So I'm not complaining. It's just weird that it just nobody, I don't know. I don't get many new people, but we'll figure it out later. Anyway. Also, good morning to Zach Osborne. Good morning, Maddie. Good morning, Somnambule Nation. Good morning, Ronan. Oh, for Maddie and Ronan, where is it? Wait a minute, where is it? Oh. See, I told you I got that truck horn for my trucking people. Excuse me. Good morning, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning to Molly Mags. Nice to see you here early. Welcome, Cracker Bob, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, Scotty Dubs in the house. I said Somnambule Nation. Who else is here? Dom O'Leary. Nice to see you. Until I fall asleep. Have a great whatever time all. There you go. Well, if I put you to sleep, my soft and silky voice is doing its job. Also, good morning too. Good morning, Hig. Nice to see you. Good morning, Maniac Man's here early. Nice to see you here. Also, good morning too. Gosh, I have to scroll a lot today. Jonathan Peterson, what's happening? Knife Ears. Jack sent me. Well, fantastic, Knife Ears. Nice to see you. And welcome to the show. And if you like what we do, hit the like button. And more important, hit the subscribe button. Ring that little bell thing so you get notifications. Good morning, Uncle Stepdad. Good morning, Renee Mayette. Let's see, Justin Anderson. Good morning. As I scroll down, why are you so angry? Is in the house. That's a name, not a question. Good morning, Attack Alpaca, Fox P2, Thomas Cleaver, to ride Deos. I will speak. Oh, you're actually. Oh, wait a minute. Now this is a whole new version of Take a Chance on Me. I will speak my mind, and I'm sure I'll find you took a channel down. Take a channel. Okay, I can't do that. It doesn't work. Take a channel. YouTube, don't clown. We'll take your channel down. Yep, that's kind of how it goes over here. Thomas Cleaver, Katie the Skate, Fox B2, Howard Welsh, and everybody else. And 40 in the house, 20 likes already. I like that. Also, real quick, thank you, Attack Alpaca, for sponsoring the show through Streamlabs. By the way, Attack Alpaca,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you so much. Who says, since you are a basketball guy, are you into March Madness? If so, any pools, and who do you have winning? You know, I am a basketball guy. I've actually coached basketball, although I believe I've coached my last high school game. I haven't decided. I'm 99% sure that I'm not going to go back to coaching next year, although never say never. I did not fill out a bracket this year. I've watched very little college basketball games. I've seen a couple of the Drake games that have been televised or whatever, because I went to Drake University. And then I've watched some Gopher games, which early in the season, Minnesota Gophers were really good, and then they got really bad really quick, and I don't know what happened there. And now the coach, Pitino, the younger Pitino, is leaving for New Mexico. Oh, darn. Anyway, and so I've watched a few college basketball games, but nothing like I used to. I used to sit all Saturday afternoon watching college basketball. It didn't matter who was playing. Didn't matter. In fact, it didn't even matter if it was the men's games. There was some a couple women's teams that I really liked watching when they were on too. UConn and like when Tennessee was really good back in the 80s and 90s. I used to love watching them. Part of the reason was because the school I went to, Drake University, had a very good women's basketball team at the time. So I kind of became a fan of women's basketball too at the time. But I didn't fill out a pool. And Lady Boomer, when I was watching the game last night down here on the computer, because she was watching some movies upstairs, and I go, I tell her, I'm going to watch the Drake game. They had the playoff game for the 11th seed to play USC. And she goes, damn it. I forgot to fill out my bracket that she was supposed to have at work. So, unfortunately, neither my wife nor I have a bracket this year. So, for make the longest possible answer to that question, no, I do not. Anyway, thank you, Attack Alpaca, for sponsoring the show. If you'd like to sponsor the show, you can do so through both Super Chats and Streamlabs, I will read your message on the air, or you can also go through Cashapp and what's that thing down there? It's Venmo or whatever. No one uses those. It just, if you like if you got to catch my attention, the tip jar always works, but I try to keep up on the chat too. All right, let's get into the news. Ran out of coffee this morning. Oh my gosh. And all I have is tea. Well, at least you have tea. I substituted tea for coffee for a while. Speaking of which, I do have my cup of reparations right here in the two-time NCAA champion University of St. Thomas coffee mug, Division III. My son was on one of those NCAA championships teams back in 2015, and so we're still big Tommy fans. By the way, I don't know if you're familiar with the University of St. Thomas. You're probably not, but next year they're jumping from Division III all the way up to Division I, which is interesting. One of the rare times that a school has been allowed to jump up 2 levels to be Division I. So they're going to be a full scholarship program next year. Division I team going to play in the same. I can't remember the name of the. Can't remember. They're playing the Summit League, I believe, which is like North Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota State. There's a bunch of schools in that league. So anyway, all right. And real quick, thank you, Dom O'Leary, with a deuce on Super Chat. It says, attention. Attention. I'm not sure what that means, but I should probably pay attention, right? Well, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, let's get into the news, shall we? Shall we get into the news a little bit? So, I should probably click that too. By the way, follow me on Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, and Cloud Hug. If you need notifications, you're not 100% confident that YouTube will do it, or you can just follow me and click the bell, and YouTube generally gives out the notifications. That's why I start the show 20 minutes before the show actually starts. At least I start the stream so that, Oh, you said grab your attention. Did I say that? Oh, I meant grab your cup of coffee or take a sip. It's that type of day. All right, let's get into it. So I was watching. Well, I was kind of paying attention to the old Twitter room yesterday, and as usual, I bookmarked quite a few things. And one of the things that I decided to bookmark yesterday, as I look at my screen over here, I got to find it, was a exchange between Dr. Rand Paul, who's a medical doctor, of course, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, the greatest medical and virologist person on the planet, who is always 100% correct and is never wrong and never ever does things that do not make sense. Everything he says and does makes sense to everybody on the planet, and who we should always follow his advice at all times, every day, 24/7. And they had an interesting exchange because Dr. Rand Paul, who also happens to be a senator in the United States Senate, had some questions for the greatest doctor in the history of the world, Dr. Anthony Fauci. And so I thought I would just share this exchange because it's interesting. It's an interesting exchange, and I think it's important that we I think it's important that we at least hear Dr. Fauci's brilliant and absolutely perfect, pristine answers to Dr. Rand Paul's question. And it's very important. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back here. Hang on. Let me pause. Because, the purpose of these Senate hearings is to, to get some good answers about certain things. Now I am fascinated. There are more than, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There are, wow, I'm looking at this. This is a Senate hearing. You can see the picture here. This is a Senate hearing. Now, Dr. Rand Paul, who is speaking, has his mask off. I wonder who this dude is, though. He doesn't have a mask on. And this dude here doesn't have a mask on. And they're working at a federal building. It's Fauci. I was pronouncing his name wrong. I'm sorry. Dr. Fauci. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so let's listen to this exchange because what's interesting about this, as a survivor, I am part of the 99.97%. I'm a survivor of the grand coup. And unfortunately, many people didn't survive. We had a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world who didn't survive this. But I am a survivor of the most dangerous virus ever to hit the planet. Good morning, Spadbot22. And so I have some of these questions because I want to know, how long the whole mask thing is going to have to go on for me. And so this is a very important question. So just listen to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Falsey? Is that how you pronounce it? I can't, I appreciate all of you giving me phonetic spellings of Dr. Fauci or Falsey or whatever his name is, his name. So this exchange is very, very good. So we're just going to watch it. I'm not going to have a whole, well, maybe I'll have some comment during it because I have questions too that maybe follow-up questions that Dr. Paul kind of ask. And well, let's just play the tape. Hi, Ryan Walters. How are you? Here we go.
Dr. Fauci, in a recent British study, David Wiley and others found that no symptomatic reinfections from COVID-19 after following 2,800 patients for several months. In fact, there have been no reports of significant numbers of reinfections after acquiring COVID-19 naturally. Shane Crotty, a virologist at...
Hey, that statistics that he just said, that really gives me hope because I am a survivor of this particular coronavirus, COVID-19, and so that there are no. What did he say? I want to make sure I understood what he said.
800 patients for several months. In fact, there have been no reports of significant numbers of reinfections after acquiring COVID-19 naturally.
No significant number of reinfections. By the way, good morning, Uncle Bad Touch.
Come on, man.
I know who you are. I know who you are, Dr. Bad Touch. We all know who you are. Okay.
Shane Crotty, a virologist at La Jolla Institute for Immunology, concludes from his experiments that the amount of immune memory gained from natural infection would likely prevent the vast majority of people from getting hospitalized disease, severe disease for many years. In this study, which was published in Science, Dr. Crotty showed that antibody levels stayed relatively constant with only modest declines over 6 to 8 months. Dr. Crotty reported that, notably, memory B cells specific for the spike protein, or RBD, were detected in almost all COVID-19 cases.
Okay, now let's look over here. Dr. Fauci's not wearing a mask. Of course, he's answering the question. It's interesting. Dr. Fauci, the most decorated, smartest, and absolute handsomest doctor in the planet who is always correct and should never be questioned. He's not wearing a mask. That's interesting. Okay. We'll keep going.
No apparent half-life.
Well, real quick. Thank you, Gunfox61. And Gunfox61...
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Who said so-called Dr. Fuck Up is more of a political shill than a medical dictator. I mean, Dr. FTG, this fucker. Well, thank you, GunFox61. I appreciate you being a sponsor of the show, and I also the colorful language is absolutely appreciated about Dr. Fauci. I mean, Fauci, or whatever the hell his name is.
China is asshole.
Whoops, that was for China, and then the crowd goes wild for you. Thank you, Dr. GunFox61. Okay, let's listen to the answer
Life
here.
at 5 to 8 months after infection. In other words, Dr. Crotty found significant evidence of long-term immunity after COVID infection. Furthermore, Dr. Crotty noted B-cell memory to some other infections has been observed for as long as 60-plus years after smallpox vaccination, or even 90 years after natural infection with influenza.
This is
that was
all
a woman who got
promising
the Spanish flu, still showed immunity 90 years later. So rather than being pessimistic towards people gaining immunity after they've had COVID or had a vaccine, studies argue for significant optimism. In fact, there have been no scientific studies arguing or proving that infection with COVID does not create immunity. There have been no studies showing significant numbers of reinfections. Of the 30 million Americans who have had COVID, only a handful of reinfections have been discovered. In fact, the New York Times reported last fall more than 38 million people at the time worldwide had been infected with the coronavirus, and as of that date, fewer than 5 of these cases had been confirmed by scientists to be reinfections.
This is all fantastic news. Everyone should be so optimistic about this. By the way, good morning, D.I. Fredder Watcher. Good morning, Advocates Diabli. Good morning, As San. I think I've got everybody here. We're close. If I missed you. Oh, and Chef James, good morning to you too. All right, let's keep going here. That's great news. Dr. Rand Paul is telling some great news. Now, let's see how Dr. Fauci treats this great. This is all really good news.
Scientists interviewed for the article concluded, in most cases, a second bout
with
the virus.
Science! Did you hear that? Science!
Produce milder symptoms or none at all. Given.
Oh, hang on. I'll do the super chat right away. Thank you, Scotty Dubs, for sponsoring the show. Who says the globalists have figured out how to weaponize science and medicine to implement worldwide communism. Change my mind. I don't know if I can do that. Thank you, Scotty Dubs, for sponsoring the show. You are greatly appreciated. All right, let's get back to Rand Paul. He might actually ask a question here pretty soon, so I want to keep playing this.
That no scientific studies have shown significant numbers of reinfections of patients previously infected or previously vaccinated.
Wow.
What specific studies do you cite to argue that the public should be wearing masks well into 2022?
Okay, it took him a minute. He had to think about that one. Let's see how he deflects.
I'm not sure I understand the connection of what you're saying about masks
What?
and reinfection. We're talking about
What? How do you not know the connection? Why do you don't know the connection? If you're having people wear masks to prevent getting the disease and you're trying to, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Let me just let him answer his question.
people who have never been infected before.
Oh, good Lord.
You're telling everybody to wear a mask, whether they've had an infection or a vaccine. What I'm saying is they have immunity, and everybody agrees they have immunity. What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection are spreading the infection? If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater?
No, it's
Had
not.
the vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater.
Dr. Fauci get a little salty there, it sounded like. Here we go again. Here, listen to how he answers that again.
It's theater.
No, it's
Had
not.
the vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
He sounds a little angry at this question. Good morning. How you doing? Also, good morning, Cynical Lindsay. How you doing? Nice to see you all.
Okay, the studies that you quote from Crotty and Sete look at in vitro examination of memory immunity.
Is it?
Which in their paper they specifically say this does not necessarily pertain to the actual protection. It's in vitro.
And what studies can you point to that show significant reinfection? There are no studies that show
Just let
significant
me finish the response to
Hello,
your
TC
question,
Ball.
if you please. The other thing is that when you talk about
Is it just
reinfection-
me? Is it just me, or does Dr. Fauci? Does he sound a little prickly there? Just a tiny bit, I think. But hey, listen, again, I want to hear the answer from the greatest virologist ever known in the history of man on the mass questions. It's very important to hear his answer. Very, very important.
and you don't keep in the concept of variance, that's an entirely different ballgame. That's a good reason for a mask. In the South
What? Okay, hang on.
African study conducted by J&J, they found that people who were infected with wild type and were exposed to the variant in South Africa, the 351, it was as if they had never been infected before. They had no protection. So when you talk about reinfection, you've got to make sure you're talking
have
about
that
wild type.
variant
I
here?
agree with you that you very likely would have protection from wild type for at least 6 months if you're infected. But we in our country now have variants that are circulating.
Significant reinfection. What study shows significant reinfection, hospitalization, and death after either natural infection or the vaccine? It doesn't exist. There is no evidence that there are significant reinfections after vaccine. In fact, I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination. We don't have a death in the United States.
You're not hearing what I'm saying about variants. We're talking about wild type versus variants.
And
now,
what proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
Well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish? We're having 117 that's becoming more dominant.
Your policy based on conjecture.
No,
it
isn't based on conjecture.
Variants, so you want people to wear masks for another couple years.
No.
You've been vaccinated and you parade around in 2 masks for show.
No.
You can't get it again. There's virtually 0% chance you're going to get it, and yet you're telling people that have had the vaccine, who have immunity. You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear masks who've been vaccinated.
No.
Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine.
Yes.
You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
You have
ask
immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others. You're not wearing a mask because of any science.
I totally disagree with you.
Well, there you go. I totally disagree with you. Good morning, GNT. Good morning, Check Your Logic. And Cynical Lindsay, good morning. How you doing? So yeah, that was an exchange. Now, do I sympathize with Dr. Well, of course, now, for the record, for YouTube, when they see me, I am not questioning the greatest physician and medical mind in the United States for all times ever, Dr. Anthony Fauci. But boy, those are some good questions, because I'm just wondering how long I'm going to have to keep wearing a mask when I go into Sam's Club, because I've already had the disease, the dreaded disease, and like I said, I am a survivor. I'm part of the 99.97? I don't know. What is it? 0.3%? So something like that. 99.7%? Is that what it is? I don't know. But and that applies to my age group too, because I'm not old yet. I'm getting there. I'm gonna get a little older next in about 15 days though, so we'll see what happens if that. But I've already had it, so I'm okay. But that was an interesting exchange. Now, good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Nice to have you. Also, Anna Lynn. I'm trying to be nice because again, there are rules on this particular platform. But then I'm looking. I'm watching. I saw another clip of Jake Fapper, because he seems to be fapping to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Excuse me, Jake Tapper. Did I say his name wrong? And Sanjay Gupta on CNN talking about this exchange. And this I found fascinating too. And I'm going to try to do it in a little comment. You guys can comment about it all you want in the comments in the chat. But I just, again, I don't. Okay, here's why I'm being so cautious. The other day, Steven Crowder was trending, not because of anything having to do with this, but the stream that the people were talking about that Steven Crowder had, which plays during the same time as my show, but so you may not have seen it. You better not have seen it. Anyway, the entire stream got taken down for medical misinformation, and everything that was. I watched that stream, not during my show, but after my show, and I realized that everything he said in that stream was absolutely accurate. Now it may have been bending the narrative a little bit, but it's certainly every bit of it was accurate. But YouTube took down took down the replay. Saying that it was because they have a policy against medical misinformation. So I don't want to give any hint of medical misinformation, particularly when we're talking about the world's greatest virologist of every country in the entire planet and of all times ever, Dr. Anthony Fauci. So anyway, Jake Tapper and Sanjay Gupta decided to talk about this little exchange, and I was fascinated how. Well, I'll let you decide for yourself. Here we go. Let me.
Investigators just released.
Okay, so here's Jake Tapper, whatever.
Earlier today between Dr. Anthony Fauci and Kentucky Republican
Now they
Senator
were
Rand Paul.
now again. Remember the source here. This is CNN. They have a what would I say They have maybe a slight slant. Maybe they, because, they're kind of I would call them state TV. So, of course, they are going to, let's just say they're going to have the greatest doctor and scientific mind, since. Well, I don't know. I think of all times ever, okay? They're going to have his back. So here's how they have his back, because those legitimate questions by Rand Paul, he answered them so perfectly, right? Hello, you're a ridiculous lunatic. Luna! I think that's what's going to be from now on. That popped in my head. Luna! As opposed to Luda. Luna is in the house. Okay, here we go.
What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection?
The one other thing too is I want you to watch Jake Tapper's facial expressions when he's talking about the two different men too. Let me see if you see what I see.
Are spreading the infection. If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater?
No, it's
you had
not.
The vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
Let's talk about the facts here, Sanjay. If somebody has gotten both vaccines,
now watch how hard it is for
Moderna,
Sanjay to answer
or
these
just
questions
one
too.
For J&J, and 2 weeks have passed, why does that person need to wear a mask if they go in public?
Well, if you look at the science overall, you have to sort of...
What? Science! We're already establishing the fact that there's no science that supports what he's about to say here.
Determine what level of evidence are you willing to sort of, make these decisions on. It makes a lot of sense, I think, that if it's just the wild type virus that's circulating, the one that we've been talking about for the last year, you take the vaccine, it should reduce the viral load that you could potentially carry, make it unlikely that you're infected, and even less likely that you could transmit it to others.
There you go.
But I think there's 2 points that keep coming up. One is that there's still a lot of virus out there. So when you have that much virus out there,
there's still a lot of
could
virus.
you still actually be exposed, and even though it's unlikely, become an inadvertent carrier? But the other, and at some point when we get to low enough level, which is a few thousand cases per day, not several, not 40 or 50,000 cases per day, you could say at that point the likelihood of someone being
okay. How long is that going to be, Dr. Gupta?
exposed is so small, we could start to not worry about masks. There's another point, just quickly, Jake. People who are vaccinated, they get exposed to the virus. The virus learns then how to sort of adapt and mutate now to a vaccinated person. So in some ways, by exposing vaccinated people to the virus, you could start to inspire more and more mutations, which is something you don't want to do. So until the vaccine is contained, the virus is contained, I think, masks, at least in public, will be recommended.
All right. So the only theater was what Rand Paul was doing in that hearing.
Oh, really? The only, that pisses me off. The only theater was what Rand Paul was doing. So Jake, those questions are not legitimate. You don't think those are questions that a vast majority of the American people are asking the same time? You don't think those are legitimate questions, Jake? That's a little snarky comment. Yeah, prick. But I'm not questioning the greatest physician and medical mind of all time, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Anyway, thank you, Zach Osborne. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Thank you, Zach Osborne, for sponsoring the show with the Deuce through Streamlabs, who says, I like how they went from the AstraZeneca vaccine is completely safe and effective to blood clot rumors are a conspiracy theory to, okay, there are some blood clot concerns to, EU countries are banning the AZ shot. Yeah, that's just one of those myths that all you conspiracy theorists like to talk about, that the AstraZeneca vaccine may have some issues that no one's, they're not banning it in any European countries because of the possible blood clot problem, because that's absolutely not even possible, because everything regarding the vaccines is 100% pristine, safe, and 100% tested and almost FDA approved. Well, approved for emergency use, not necessarily approved as a drug, but there's no problem. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Zach Osborne, for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciated it. Greatly appreciated it. All right, enough. So here's let's just see how ABC News described what happened yesterday. Fauci warns a possible fourth surge in COVID-19 cases could undermine progress. Because we don't want, we certainly don't want people to, we want people to remain vigilant. The U.S. is in a race against the variants, the administration official said. Dr. Anthony Fauci said Thursday he's concerned about a possible fourth surge in COVID-19 cases as numbers tick up in some states in Europe, which the U.S. has traditionally trailed by about 4 weeks in its COVID trajectory. Fauci, the nation's leading, the nation's chief, the nation's most important disease expert, and other Biden administration officials testified before the Senate Health Committee on Thursday about the COVID response, stressing the U.S. is in a race against virus variants to vaccinate Americans as quickly as possible. Fauci said the situation in the U.S. has improved greatly since the intense spike in cases after the winter holidays, but that he still worries that the country will declare victory over the virus too soon and relax behaviors that could lead to another surge in the number of cases. Fascinating. They haven't seen that's an issue in some states that are already open. Anyway, I'm concerned if we pull back in our enthusiasm for the fact that vaccines are rolling out and things look good, and things look good, if we pull back prematurely, we may trigger another surge, and that would really set us back in all the things we're trying to do, he told lawmakers. Although the U.S. national daily case average continues to fall about 32% over the last month, nearly a third of all states have